What's up? What's up? What's up? You already know what it is. It's your boy Garcia the Barber back in the building with Talk Your Barber shit. I'm gonna let Instagram do what it do. Start sending out this notification. Let people know that I am going live with another special guest. Colorado Springs, the one and only legend, Darius Blends. So he has a lot to say. He's a barber, master barber, barber owner. So he's gonna come over here, share his wisdom, share his experience, share his knowledge within this industry that we love so much as being a hairstylist, being a barber, being everything that we are within this industry to keep yeah. Instagram giving me notification that the signal is not too strong, but it seems like it's strong now. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Let me know if you guys see any glitches throughout this interview so we can keep it going, keep it rolling. Also, this is just not for myself and the party that's joining in. That people that are watching the live, you're welcome to tune in. You're welcome to share. You're welcome to ask questions. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. This is for everyone. This is for us all. This is for barbers that's joining our community, because this is a community. Those are hairstylists that's joining our community. Want all the information that they can gain to keep moving forward, to keep, this uplifting, moving it forward. This is what it's about. This is unity. I know I say talk your barber shit, and it seems like we're coming over here to do some shade type interviews, but no, it's not like that. It's about sharing information. So enough about that. I see my guy on. I know he's ready to do his thing. So let's get it started. What's going on, man?
Yo, what's up, bro?
How you doing this afternoon? It's afternoon for you, but it's still morning for me.
Yeah, it's afternoon for us over here. It's noon. Hey, doing great, man. Doing great. How's your morning going?
It's going good, man. I've been up since like 6 this morning. I usually try to get my little jog in, my
Right.
run, in. And then I'm also studying to finish out my
Oh,
cosmetologist. I did my hours, so I want to, add that to my arsenal. So I want to have my cosmetology license as well, as far as being in the industry.
man, congratulations on that, man. One thing I always say, man, is we got to forever be forever learners, forever students
Yeah.
in this, right? You got to keep learning. You got to keep adding something to your repertoire, keep adding something to your bag, man. So I salute you for that, young man.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I take my test Monday, so I know it's a presidential day, and should be not a day um, going to take a test, but they said they still got it going, so they were
Hey, you know how it is too, man. In our field, normal days off ain't days off. You know
right.
how we get down. You know what I'm saying? So holiday or not, we got to keep it pushing, right?
100%. Before we dig into this, how was your Sunday? Did you enjoy the Super Bowl weekend? Did you do anything special? Was you
Man,
watching the game or what?
of course I
Okay.
watched the game. I watched the game with the fam, with my wife and my mom and my daughters. We all chilled and watched the game. Uh, I'm a Bronco fan, so I ain't out. I wasn't rooting for no Chiefs to win, but salute to Mahomes, man. That dude is amazing.
Yeah.
Um, what else can you say about him? But we're gonna have to put him in the conversation with Joe and with Tom. There's nothing else to say about that. Regardless of who you root for.
Right.
Yeah.
It was. I honestly say it was a very entertaining game. I mean,
Yeah,
it was a lot of photos of Taylor Swift, but it was still a good game.
it was a good game, and Usher did his thing, so
Yeah,
it was entertaining.
yeah,
I think they put on a good one.
yeah. They did. They did. So, I always like to, do my little spiel before I get into the interviewing. Um, I like to say, as far as my platform, it's about unity, uniting our industry, sharing information to those that are deciding to join this industry, and want to know where they should start, how they should start. Uh, a lot of knowledge that you will share about maybe your journey that somebody might be feeling right now or might be going through that might uplift them out of that situation and keep them moving forward. And I know the title's Talk Your Barber Shit, and a lot of people take it in so many different directions. But at the end of the day, I just want to say we're talking to our audience and to our people in this industry as to let them know that I was once there. You can strive and you can build and you can make it out the same way you did, or currently the way I am. So
Facts.
um yeah, let's get to it. Like, where did I always like to draw back into the beginning. Like, was this something that was already generated because you have family members that was already in this industry? Or, you just got tired of the corporate world and you say, hey, I've been playing with these clippers so many years, it's time for me to, take it to the next level. Like, where did it start for you? How did
Man, it started for me young. Ever since I can remember, I wanted to be a barber. I remember one of my early childhood memories is my mom asked me when I was 12, what you want to do when you grow up, kid? And I was like, I want to own a barbershop, and she tells this joke, this story all the time because I said, I want to own a barbershop and a strip club, So my mom be like, now she'd be like, well, you got the barbershop, you just got to put a stripper pole in there now, but we ain't going that route. But when I was 12 years old, man, I said that I wanted to
yeah,
be a barber. I do have family members in it, but I'm not sure how much influence they had on it. To be totally honest with you, I know one of my dad's brothers is a barber. My great grandmother was a hairstylist. She had a salon out of her garage that she worked in for years. That up in Seattle, it's still set up in the garage. As a salon, not in use though. But I think the biggest influence was probably my mom's. Man, my mom, she was the woman that got her hair done every 2 weeks. You know what
yeah,
I mean? So as my mom's going to get her hair done every 2 weeks, she got me and my little brother there with her, and we getting a haircut every 2 weeks. She keeping us fresh. So I think I was around it, where she got her haircut, where her hair done. That was a salon, barbershop. It's a combination. So I was around it so much that I think I just adapted to it. I think it became something that I wanted to do, and I just honestly I tunnel visioned it. So I ended up I got my barber's license real young. I think I might have been 19 when I got my barber's license, but I had a long journey to that. I ended up getting in trouble as a kid, and I went to prison, and in prison there was a barber program, and I took full advantage of it. It was almost like it was, I had this major life setback because I got locked up as a young man, and here was the outlet right here of the path that you're supposed to be on. They had a barber program. I attended the barber program, and here we are today. So, it started young. I don't. There's not another profession that I've ever wanted to do. I've always wanted to be a barber, and I'm 20 years in now. So,
yeah. I had a great opportunity to interview Cole, one of the big barber influencers,
yeah,
killing
yeah,
the game right now, and to hear his journey and everything that he went through as a young man to adult to now shifting the whole game the way he's shifting it is truly amazing. And I know one thing that he's really speaking on, and I know that you're a barber owner. That I seen the other day was that I know for California, they starting to take away a lot of things that,
yeah,
when you and I were in it, going into the industry and going into school and learning the book and learning practical. Now they're shifting and they're taking the practical away.
yeah.
And then I know that he posted the other day that they want to take the license away for certain areas. How do you feel about that? And what's your on that?
I think it's the worst thing that they could do for our
Yeah,
industry. I think it dumbs all the way down our profession that we're already doing.
yeah,
I've been an instructor at the school
Yeah.
before. I took a position as an instructor so that I could recruit barbers for my barbershop, right? So I've been on that side of it. And I know for a fact, it don't matter how good you can cut hair. Man, I had so many barbers that came to school that was already like, oh man, I'm already nice with the clippers.
Hmm.
That's cool. You are nice with the clippers. But do you know about barbicide? Do you
Right.
know about sanitation? Do you know how these certain things work? And those are things that you learn in school. You learn school. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I'm in Colorado. I don't know how it
Yeah.
is everywhere else, but in my personal opinion, unless you have a really amazing barber instructor, they're not really there to teach you how to cut hair. They're not teaching you the dopest fade. What they're doing is teaching you how to protect the public. They're teaching you how to not infect the public. We work in close quarters with people's hair and skin. Are you disinfecting your tools after you do a haircut so that you're not transmitting some type of disease? Do you know how to recognize a disease?
Right.
Do you know what ringworm look like?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Do you know what these different things look like? That who teaches you that?
Yeah.
I ain't seen nobody really on YouTube teaching that yet. You know what I mean? Maybe that's somebody's calling that we're gonna speak it into
Right.
existence. Now somebody gonna do it. But you know what I mean? Nobody teaching that, So them trying to get rid of the license, man, that's probably the worst thing that we could do. And I watched that interview with Cole and Buddy that hopped on there. I forget his name, but
Yeah.
everything that they said, if y'all haven't watched that interview, go watch
Yeah.
that interview, man. We need to do exactly what Cole and Buddy was saying. We need to be more involved at that state board level. They need more barbers that are actually in the field. Somebody that's just a representative that's up there, they don't know what's going on in the
Yeah.
barbershop. They don't know. They don't know how we operate day to day, and that I think is probably the worst. Even lowering the hours, I feel like, is a slap in the face. You know what I mean? We need to be. This is a profession, man. Right now it take longer to be a barber than it do to be a police officer. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? And there's a reason for that. We don't need to dumb our hours down. Other professions need to step their hours up. You know what I'm saying? So I think we can't do that. That's something that
I,
I hope that they shut it down.
I'm glad that you spoke on that because when I found that out, I have friends that's in the profession that are police officers, firefighters,
Yeah,
and when I heard about how much hours that they put in to compare to, barbers, I was like, wow, that's crazy. And then you look at like certain issues that take place within those fields and be like, okay, but they're not being really taught extremely well how to honestly understand when you're in a certain situation, how to prevent that. And then like you just said, speaking on being barbers and going to school and yeah, they're not teaching you how to do the freshest cut. They're teaching you how to protect the person that's sitting in your chair. So if you're trying to eliminate that, like what are you actually saying to our community, our profession,
right.
and the people that's working so hard to build a clientele base and do the things that we're doing that you putting a slap on that, like saying that it's not. I mean, we already experienced that during COVID when they told us that we wasn't a profession that.
Non-essential.
Yeah.
Yeah, we non-essential. Yeah, y'all don't matter. Barbers don't matter.
Yeah. It is crazy, and I feel like that's some of the situation and issues that a lot of barbers are dealing with when they do find themselves working at a barbershop and then all the experience and all the knowledge that you're gaining and that you want to share with the person that's sitting in your chair. And then you give them your price point and they go, oh, I'm not paying that. Why should I have to pay you that amount
Right.
for what? And they really not understanding like, yes, I'm cutting your hair, but I'm also protecting you and I'm also
Right.
information that can help you better your grooming, your hair, and all this other stuff. But you don't want to take a chance on me on that part and pay what I'm trying to give to you. You know?
Right. Absolutely. And that's where we have to step in, man. And I think we as barbers, as the barber community, we need to step in and we need to be in control of the state board. We need to have more control of that. And I don't know how we do that, but the shop owners, the barbers that are, serious about this profession, man, we need to figure out how we take control of that because I don't know too many licensed barbers that's like, yeah, man, just let everybody cut hair. It's all good. Let anybody Joe Schmo off the street come in and cut hair and and infect somebody. None of us feel that way. I don't think so. I feel like, you know, like I said, like Cole and Buddy was saying, we need to come together and figure out what the process is to protect all the states, not just that region and not just that area. Barbers as a whole, we need to protect that. We need to protect our industry. We need to protect our
And
profession.
I'm still very young in this industry. I've been talking to a lot of people that been in this industry for 20, almost 30 plus years. I'm still gathering a lot of information from them, and sometimes I always wonder like why we don't have a union that is structured all across the board to prevent these certain situations, from
Absolutely.
and trying to bring us down and not look at us as a very lucrative establishment.
Yeah. And maybe that's where we start. Maybe we got to start with a union. Maybe we need to be unionized. Why is our profession not unionized? And I believe like plumbers, electricians, those trades are. And I think maybe that might be where we have to
Right.
start. Is maybe we need to become unionized.
Um, my next question for you is like, always ask these because I know I had them when I first got into this industry. That if what did you ever have that if factor when even like starting your business or when you did you how long were you in like regular barbershops until you got into the part where you say, okay, I want to own my shop?
So I, I had I only worked in one other barbershop, and I worked in that barbershop for 12 years. Okay. And that was home, man. And initially I had plans from my mentor, um, my mentor Z. He owned the shop that I worked at, right? And he had plans to retire, and the plans was to pass the barbershop. I would buy the barbershop when he retired. Um, I was about 5 years ahead of his plan, though, man. And unfortunately, and well, fortunately and unfortunately, right? Because I'm the owner, I created my own brand.
Correct.
Well, what motivated it was I was really at a point where I couldn't cut no more hair to make no more money.
Mm,
It was like I needed to elevate myself as a barber, and my books was booked out every single day. I would have had to make more money. I would have had to charge a ridiculous amount. And at the time, we was already kind of high. At the time, we was. I mean, this gonna sound low to everybody now, but we was charging $18 at the time, right? And but haircuts was $14. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? Haircuts in the region was 14, so we was a little bit higher than everybody else.
Yeah.
So it was either raise my prices again because I was so booked out, or I said, man, what if I just opened a barbershop? Because some of my brothers went to barber school. My little brother went to barber school. My brother-in-law, they were in the process. They saw the success that I was having, and they was like, man, hold up. This really working for you, huh? This is really working. So, I kind of brought them in and was like, man, if y'all go to barber school, we can open a barber shop and, we could go from there. So I think it started there that I realized, man, I got to make some more money, and I can't do it behind the
Yeah.
chair. I have to do something else. Did I have a fail? What if I fail? Absolutely. Anybody that say they not having no what if I fail, is probably not really telling you the truth. But in that same process of what if I fail, my mentality is all, I walk by faith, man. You know what I'm saying? And I believe truly that if something is meant to be, it's gonna be. If you build it, they'll
Mhm.
come. So um, I absolutely thought, man, what if I fail? I can remember my first barber shop that I opened. Um, I took two of my homeboys with me, and we went. I went and looked at it. And as I'm looking at the barber shop, it's an empty space. I had no clue what the barber shop was, and I'm sitting there, and it wasn't in the. I won't say it wasn't in the best location, but it wasn't in the best location. It was in a breezeway. So there's a hallway that's open on both sides, and that's where the front door was. There were a couple units on that inside, so our front door didn't face the street. If you didn't know the barbershop was down there, you didn't even know the barbershop was down there. But it was in a cool parking lot, and it was at the price that I knew I could afford, right? I knew I could afford this barbershop by myself with no barbers working there. Okay. So I knew I could afford that. As I'm standing there, I see what I thought was a security guard walking around the area. And I stopped him. And I was like, hey man, are you, you the security guard? How's the area over here? And he was like, I ain't the security guard, man. I'm a fireman. And he was like, I was looking at this spot. I thought there was a barbershop right here, is what he told me. And while I'm looking at this unit to open the barbershop. And he says, yeah, man, this used to be a barbershop already. Now it's completely empty. Ain't nothing in there. I can't tell it's no barbershop, nothing. He say, I used to get my hair cut here years ago. And I was just stopping by. I was in town to see if my man was in here, And so I go next door and I talked to, there was an architect right next door to it. And I said, hey man, can you tell me about the unit? And he goes, man, that was a barbershop for 50 years. And I said, what? And immediately I took it. I knew that was my sign right there, So as much as I'm sitting there pacing like, man, this ain't gonna work. It ain't no visibility to the street. People ain't even gonna be able to see us. And my man said, that was a barbershop for 50 years. Dude just retired about 5 years ago, and it's been empty ever since. And I knew that was it, So I absolutely had those what ifs, but if we continue to have those what if I fails, we gonna fail, and you're not gonna pick yourself back up. Being an entrepreneur, you have to be ready to fail. We got to be ready for the failure. You know what I mean? Because if we don't, everything doesn't work out. Let's just be honest, right? Everything that we try does not work out. When I first was a barber, I went to school for marketing. You know what I'm saying? After I was already a barber, I went to school for marketing. I dropped out. You know what I mean? Because I was like, I don't need this. I learned a lot in it. I'm also a licensed real estate agent in Colorado. I don't want to do that though. That's not necessarily what I have a passion for. So if I had failed at opening that barbershop, I would have never came to get to be where I'm at right now. I already know that everything's not going to work. I'm prepared to fail. I walk into a situation prepared to fail and ready to win. You know what I mean? If I have that mentality, even if it doesn't work out correctly, I can go and dissect that situation and say, what did not work out here? We need to change it for this next time we do it. You know what I mean? So, we all have that, but if we prepare ourselves, it softens that blow. And some people say, oh well, it's not a loss, it's I learned. And that's what you should be doing. You should learn from that failure if it approaches itself.
Right. I love that. I with social media now, you get the chance to see so many point of views and so many layers now of this industry, of where it used to be to where it's at now. And I see a lot of amazing growth, but then I also see a lot of bickering, and I also see still a lot of not combining the industry, where we don't have to worry about like we spoke about earlier, price points. Because if you in a certain area, and if every barber and barbershop location is working together, then if someone goes to one shop and goes to another shop, and then they'd be like, oh well, everybody in this region is charging the same price.
Yep.
You don't have to worry about somebody feeling like, oh well, this person charging this and this person charging this, and then you have these customers coming in feeling like, well, since you want to charge, I can just go down the street because he's $5
cheaper.
Yeah. So are you starting to see now, with everything that's going on, that the unity of barbering is starting to become more efficient, or do you feel like since the time you've been in the game to now, it's still almost the same?
I would say, honestly, it's starting to come together. I was barbering before social media, right? I went to barber school in 2003. I started in the shop in 2006, right? Social media wasn't really utilized when I first barbering. That wasn't even a thing. You know, I didn't even have social media for
Right.
barbering. You know what I mean? It was off of word of mouth, but it was very competitive though. You know, we did have barbershops still. Like I said, I remember when I started, haircuts were $14.
Mhm.
Okay, we were still kind of the higher shop because we kind of did extra things. You got a hair wash and things like that. You know, but there were still barbers in the area that were charging $10 and was like, well, we charging $12. And it was an undercut thing, you know. It was like just like you said, like, oh man, y'all charging $14. I'm gonna go over here where it's $10. I don't care if they wash my hair. I don't care if they do this because they're just as good as a barber,
Yeah.
you know. I don't see that as much as I used to see that because now I feel like everybody trying to get the bag. Excuse me. I feel like everybody, all the barbers have kind of started to realize their worth, you know, and I almost feel like COVID played a little bit of part of that
Correct. Yeah.
when they shut us down, and then everybody was hurting. You know what I'm saying? Most people that get their haircut was hurting. You know, I be making jokes with my clients out here. You know, with Governor Polis, I ain't never seen Governor Polis without no haircut during COVID. I don't know how he was getting his haircut, but I know his
Right.
hair ain't never looked unkept.
Trust.
You know what I'm saying? And that's our governor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like barbers now with social media, we're on the same page almost. You know what I'm saying? I can remember way back when I met Papito Bless Hands, right? And he was probably one of the most instrumental barbers that made me start to social media and start to take advantage of some of these other things. And I remember, you know, bro was charging $50 in 2015. You know what I'm saying? So I see that now more that we're kind of coming together, you know. It's a lot less hate now, I feel like. You know, before I feel, you know, we get the competitiveness every now and again and on social media, but I feel like it's a lot less somebody feeling like I'm a better barber than you know what I mean, or I cut more heads than you. Now it seems like everybody's trying to get to the bag. And really, man, could you imagine, you know, like price point, right? You said we talking about price point. Could you imagine if we were unionized or if we had some type of barber coalition to where everybody in the city charged this amount? This is what a haircut is at standard, you know. There wouldn't be a possibility for a customer to come in and say, well, you charge too much. Like, for example, our barbershop minimum is $36 for a basic haircut, right? I charge $50. That's it. It's $50 starting basic haircut to get into my chair. I'm sure when people go to our website to book, they would book with one of my other barbers if they haven't been. That's has a cheaper price, right? But I've still seen people come into our door and ask one of my barbers, you know, like, hey man, how much is a haircut? And it's like 36. And they like, oh, what? That's way too much, you know? And they be like, you know, good thing you didn't ask Darius. You know what I'm saying? So I think that if we were charging the same amount, it wouldn't look so odd, you know. But you know, I think we still do have, and it's starting to slow down, like I said, and people are starting to realize that. People are like, well, this is what a haircut costs nowadays, you know, because it's starting to be across the board, you know, which is starting to decrease the hatred. I think it's starting to. I think as barbers, we're always going to have this competitive nature. It's like we like athletes in a so to speak, you know what I mean? We always going to have that competitive nature of, you know, who cutting faster, who cutting better, you know, who doing this, who, whatever the case is. But it's not so much hatred, you know. For example, I don't do enhancements, right? Just That's just not something that I do. Not because I don't like enhancements or because whatever the case may be, but my partner, he a monster with it. You know what I'm saying? And I would almost say he what they call a 90%er. 90% of his clients get enhancements on their head. You know, my clients don't. They see it. They don't want enhancements, even if they might be balding or whatever the case may be, just because of their lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? But my man's is a monster with it, you know, and that's what he do. So there's no hatred because we have two different opinions of how a haircut should be. You know what I mean? And I think that's what we're starting to see less of. We're starting to see less of that hatred, you know, and more. I think Instagram and social media is starting to make us more friendly with each other. Think about it. How many barbers you know that we ain't ever even sat down with each other in person,
Yeah.
you know, but we may have talked on social media, and I might be like, oh, that's my partner. You know what I'm saying? We never even really, we didn't exchange social media messages, and, you know, I'm liking your stuff. I'm following you. You doing the same thing for me, helping me build, you know, and that's what's starting to happen is the community is starting to happen, you know. I think that we almost need it. We need it to be able to build with each other, because I know when I go look at, I try to look at things sometimes from a consumer standpoint. So I'm looking at things like, I'm trying to make my social media pop, right? What are they doing that's making their social media popping? They supporting other barbers. You know what I'm
I,
saying? Most of them are supporting other
I'm glad
barbers.
that you said that because it just brought something to my attention. So I feel like now, and this might be a little too like kind of far fetched, but I just want to throw it out there. Do you think now that we are coming to a point where we're like connecting with each other, especially through social media, that we can see each other's work, we can connect and compliment and say, "Hey, I love what you're doing," and see what you're building over there, man. And then now you're taking what that person is doing from their shop or what they cuts is or what their price points is, and now we're trying to shift the industry. So now this is the reason that we're seeing now the government or certain locations are trying to demise what we're doing because they see it like, oh shit, they're actually growing
Yep.
as a unit, they're actually growing as a corporation, and then they're trying to find the ways to make this not seem like that. Do you understand where I'm going?
I see
Yeah,
exactly what you're saying. Yeah,
yeah,
and I think that may absolutely be a big part of this, because when you think about it like this, right? I got three barbers in my shop.
yeah.
None of them are my employees. These people are, you know, these barbers are self-employed, right? Um, they rent a booth from my business, right? But
Mm-hmm.
you think about the corporations that I'm not donating to any
Right,
politician, or
right.
I don't have my pocket. I don't
Yeah,
have nobody's pocket on my
yeah,
thing. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But then you think about, like, you know, think about a major corporation, and not to drop names, but think about Floyd's, right? Think if there's Floyd's is big in
Okay.
Colorado, right?
Well,
Think about Supercuts.
yeah,
What's the other joint? Sports Clips. Think about those
yeah.
corporations that the owner of that corporation is absolutely
Super,
tugging on
yeah,
somebody's pocket. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? Um, how much easier is it? Because you got to think this way too, right? And I don't discredit nobody for what they do or what they choose to do with their career. I will never discredit that. If you choose to go work at Sports Clips
Mhm,
for an hourly wage, then go right ahead.
mhm,
But me being a barbershop owner, a small business owner, I would try to tell you the information of how you can make more money. You
mhm.
see what I mean? Which is being independent, which is coming to a booth rental barbershop and paying your booth rent and kind of owning your own piece of the business. And you can make unlimited amount of money, how much time you want to work, as opposed to you getting paid $15 an hour plus tips.
Mhm.
Now, with that corporation, if they put somebody in there, and now, and I'll take that. Let me rewind. I feel that way because of the hard work that I've put in this craft, and for the hard work that I know I had to do to get my barber's license. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Um, Now you think about that corporation that says, you know what, we could just hire these people over here that don't have a barber's license. They not connected to it. They not have a they don't have a passion. They
Mhm.
just here to cut some hair like a regular job. That job is no different from somebody being a receptionist almost. You know what I mean? There's not really a passion in it that you had to go and, you know, learn all these things. And, you know, we, like I said, people that have been doing this and that's licensed, you, how much money you done spent on trying to better yourself in this craft? How much time have you watched somebody else cut hair? Jump like, what did he do right there? How did he do that? You know, clippers ain't cheap. How, you know, we trying to stay up with the times of making sure our clippers and our tools are up to date. You know what I mean? We try to make sure the surrounding where we're at, where we work at, is up to date. You know what I'm saying? That's a passion for it that I've already invested money into. So of course I would persuade somebody, let me show you how you can make more money. But for the person that's like, man, I just need a job. Oh, they're gonna let me cut hair. You know, they're gonna teach me a couple things about cutting hair. I've been in this business for 20 years and I still learn new
Right.
things. You know what I mean? Like I said, when I was an instructor, man, I forgot how much stuff I forgot. You know what I'm saying? Because I had to go
Yep.
back to school and learn how to teach somebody this. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, I would absolutely think and say that the bigger corporations, man, they probably have a big play in trying to knock down us to not have a license so that they can hire more people. Because like I said, I don't know too many barbers that's absolutely cold with it. I mean, even think about it. We don't know everybody on Instagram and stuff ain't no barber influencer, right? But I would almost say most people that are in tune with social media and in tune with barbering, they probably work at a commission or at a booth rental barbershop and not at a corporation. They probably don't work at Sports Clips because they taking so much of your money and so much of your time. You don't even really have time to invest into this.
Yeah.
And money to invest over here, you know, to take a $100 course from another barber with that got some good information to share with you. You don't even have that type of freedom to do those type of things, you know. So it's definitely beneficial for them. You know what I mean? To say, oh, we just hiring people. We just hiring folks. You know what I'm saying?
I love the direction of this conversation. So within that conversation that they was having before when we spoke about cold, you know, I generally go through the comments to see people's reaction and
Yeah.
stuff. And somebody said just exactly what you said, and it was like, I didn't learn anything when I was in school. So what's the point of me really going to school when I can just go to, like you said, Supercuts, Floyd's or whatever, and I can get all the experience that I can just being at that shop that I didn't even get when I was going to school. What do you think about that?
I would have to say that again. I'll revert back to what I said that, and like when I was an instructor, I had another dude with me that was an amazing barber. He made a dope barber in the city. You know what I'm saying? So the students that we had under our grasp, in my opinion, they dope. There's another school here that got a dope instructor. You know what I'm saying? So the students that he produced is dope. But then there's another school that don't have an instructor at all. They still graduating barbers. You see what I'm saying? Because the school is not there to teach you how to cut hair. The school is there to teach you those disinfectant things to, you know, even for somebody that say, well, I didn't learn nothing in school. Well, I would almost ask you, well, how'd you know about ringworm? Did you already know about ringworm? Did you already know about infectious diseases?
Yeah.
Did you, you're going for a cosmetology license, right?
Uh,
The two major things that's different, right, is that, well, here in Colorado, you learn nails as a cosmetologist, and as a barber, you learn shave.
yeah,
Where did you learn a freehand backstroke from?
right.
Where did you, you know what I'm saying? How did you learn? How do you know how to freehand backstroke if you didn't learn nothing in school? You might not have learned how to do a burst fade because your instructor didn't know how to do a burst fade. You may not have learned your fading skills might not be up to par, but I would almost say you learn how to use that clipper unless you already knew how to use that clipper. But you know what a clipper guard is. You know what levels are. You know what fade zones
Yeah.
are. These are these are things that you learn in school that I think sometimes the barbers might put in the back of their head. And again, unless you already knew those things, those are things you learned in school. You know, sanitation, those are things that you learned in school. The mentality to sell product, because most schools want you to sell product because that's how schools, that's one of their money makers is the products that the students sell,
Yeah.
right? So the student may not have picked it up, but I could almost guarantee you were taught to sell products. You know, you were taught to use that product on the client, tell them about that product, put it on display right here in front of them and be like, this is what I used on your hair today. You think it's second nature, but that's something that they taught you in school unless you were already into retail. unless you already knew that, you know. So I would say there are things that you learn in school. Everybody there, unless you already knew all these things, which most of us did not, you know, you definitely learn things in school. I just think that sometimes barbers equate I learned something with haircutting. And it's like if I didn't learn how to do the dopest fade, I didn't learn nothing at all. And it's like, man, this industry is more than doing haircuts, you know. The worst barber that got good customer service, that's clean, that is on time, that's ready to go to work, that's consistent, that's there when the client needs them, will outcut any fire barber that come to work late for their clients, smelling like weed, don't answer their phone. You know what I'm saying? That trash barber, he'll do numbers on this barber over here. You know what I mean? Because it's only so long that somebody gonna take and spend their hard-earned money with that. You know what I mean? If you every time you go to Walmart or Target, or every time you go to Walmart, somebody treating you bad because you can't find this or they out of stock or they, you know, you're gonna find another store to go to eventually. You're gonna pass right by that Walmart like, they didn't have what I needed last time.
Right.
Even if I'm going over here to this Walmart because they always stock, you know, I'm gonna pass that one by because they don't never have what I need, or because you know, it's dirty in there or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? So you know, this industry is not just about who could do the most fire fade. That's not always the most successful barber just because you super dope. If you don't have no customer service skills, if you don't know how to talk to somebody when they're in your chair and make that person feel what's the word I'm looking for? I want to say loved. If you don't make this person feel like they important, man, you're gonna lose that client. You know, you gotta know how to do many more things than just cutting some hair. Cutting hair that's a small piece of it. Because think about it, cutting hair easy. You know what I'm saying? Doing a haircut easy. What's hard is trying to figure out, how do I market myself? How do I get this person that I cut their hair, even though I may think it's a great haircut, how do I get this person to come back? You know, we have always been known as more than just barbers anyway, good barbers anyway, you know. I hope it doesn't fade off that we your therapist too, you know. When you gotta, you know, I mean, we all barbers, right? How many of your clients sit in your chair and tell you everything? You know what I'm saying? My man cheating on his wife, you know first. You know what I'm saying? He get a divorce, you know first. You know what I'm saying? He got some problems with his kid, you know first. Because we this person's therapist as well. It's not just about cutting their hair, it's about the relationships that you have built. You know, I still cut the first dude's hair that said I was his barber. I just cut Sam on Saturday, right? This man been letting me cut his hair 20 years, brother. You know what I mean? From the first time he said, Darius, you my barber. You know, I still cut this man's hair because we have a relationship. I don't hang out with bro on the streets. We don't hang out I wasn't with bro yesterday at the Super Bowl party, you know, but we have a relationship. You know, I know everything about this man's life. We've built a bond. And that's what it comes down to. I don't ever think that I'm the dopest barber ever. You know what I mean? But I'm the dopest barber to somebody. You know what I'm saying? To the people that continue to come to me. So, you know, we have to, as barbers, make sure we're not just thinking about cutting hair as this profession as, oh, we cut hair. I cut hair. You know, we do much more than that. You know, I always tell people like, man, I feel like I'm top 3 in most men's life. It's God, their wife and kids, and then me. You know what I'm saying? I'm top 3, baby. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we got to remember that aspect of it, and that customer service aspect, that we do more than just cut hair. So guys, if y'all feel like y'all ain't learned nothing in school, think back in that bracket. Right. You didn't learn something. You didn't learn something in that school. That school that taught you something. They, like I said, they might not have taught you the dopest fade, but you didn't learn something. You know what barbicide is. You know how to mix them. You know how to mix barbicide. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, thinking you know the wait time is 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? You know, we'd have learned some stuff in that school, man. Come on now.
100%. I love it. It was one of my other guests that I had on my channel, and he goes by Vinny the Barber. He specialized. He has shops, but he also shares content about more of the game of being you having your shop on a consignment. Uh,
Okay.
how do you feel about the consignment or just the regular base chair rental?
Um, I'm not really hip to how they doing it on consignment.
Okay.
Um, is it the same as commission? Is that how is it the same kind of
Mission
same
base, yeah.
commission base? I'll tell you this, man, and don't nobody hate on me for this, okay? Don't be mad at me because I'm going to say this. This is my opinion, and I know a lot of barbershop owners here in the city. To me, booth rental is the better way to go regardless because you make more money, okay? You have more freedom.
Mhm.
When you on commission, and I don't know all the technical rules with commission, but I will say this: commission is probably is unless you cap it out at a certain amount. I mean, commission is more to make the barber shop money. Okay. And I'm not trying to diss nobody or nothing like that or make somebody feel like they're greedy or anything like that. But in my opinion, when you work on commission, it it shouldn't be for too long because you got to think like this. Let's say you make $1,000 a week, right? And you're on a 70-30 commission split. That's $300 that you have to pay that you've given to the barber shop, as opposed to you could be at another shop at a booth rental shop that's $200 a week, right? As now, so there's $100 difference right there. The only major difference that I see, because this is a big topic of what's better, booth rent commission. Again, just my opinion. As a I see a lot of the pros of commission as well. The barber don't have to do nothing. The barber shop takes care of everything. They take care of supplies. They take care of marketing. They take care of all these things. As the barbershop owner, I'd say, isn't that what we do anyway? You know what I'm saying? Minus the supplies. You don't have to give somebody supplies, right? But don't I have to market for this barbershop in order for the barbershop to be successful? You see what I'm saying? In order for me to, as the barbershop owner, to fill up these chairs, I have to market the barbershop in some type of way, which means I need to make sure clients are coming into the door, even if that means I have to cut their hair because I'm the only one here. If my goal is to get other barbers to booth rent, I have to have the steady flow of people coming in anyway, you know. Now there are barber shops that are on booth rental that be like, we don't do nothing for you.
Right.
You come in here, you get this chair, and that's it. So I guess my opinion is a little bit more biased because I do all those things for my barbers. My barbers don't have to pay for no supplies or no product. I want them to use these products on their customers because I'm thinking like the school. We need to make some extra money. Sell these products. I'm not going to make you pay for them. Take whatever you need. Use everything on these people so that it's on your clients so that we can sell these products. That's the only way to sell a product is to, especially to men, you got to use it. You got to show us. You got to show me what that's doing to my hair. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, that do look good in my beard. You got to show and prove with men. So use all these products, use the products. I already market, 10% of my barber's booth rent goes to marketing, and that's in our contract that it goes to marketing. Again, I'm a little more biased because I give my barbers even time off, after they with us for a year, you get, and it's booth rental, but after you with us for a year, you get a free week of booth rent. Kind of like if because I had to think like this, bro. I said, we trying to get people in here. These people can go cut hair wherever they want to cut hair at, right? You can go cut hair at any shop. What's special for our shop? You got to give, what would I have wanted as when I was booth renting? Man, if I ain't have to pay booth rent that time I went on vacation, that would have been great. So I implemented that into my shop. Now you can come to work if you want to use it for vacation time, for sick time. If you want to use it because I ain't paying my booth rent this week, you have a week a year to do that. You know what I'm saying? And make some extra money. Ain't that the same as somebody getting paid time off? You know what I'm saying? They going on vacation with their family, they still getting paid. Those are just incentives that I try to give my barbers. After they're here for 2 years, they get two weeks of that. You see what I mean? So I'm an advocate for booth rent. I think that booth rent absolutely makes you more independent. It shows you how to be a boss. On top of, I don't really want to deal with your money, to be honest with you. You know, when you on commission, it's a lot of headache on the shop owner. And you know, one thing that they don't understand, you know, is like, as a booth renter, I can't tell this barber when to come to work, right? You just owe your booth rent at the end of the week. If you don't work, you don't want to come to work, don't come to work. But you owe that booth rent. You see what I'm saying? As when you working on commission, you can't tell them when to come to work. They still can't be told technically when to come to work. But you almost have to, and this is from the shop owner perspective, you're supposed to be treating them like an employee, but you can't get no employee benefits from them. You see what I mean? You can't tell this person when they got to come to work. You're not supposed to in our state. I don't know how it is everywhere.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's why I'm a little biased towards booth rent. You know, I'd say
No,
booth rent all the way.
you definitely opened up a knowledge to me that I definitely didn't look at before, and I'm glad that you shared that whole layer of that, and that was amazing. And also what you said as far as like, you know, you giving back to your staff, you know,
Yep.
like people that you work for, you know, you guys are working with each other, and I love the example that you just gave. You know, it's funny. I'm looking forward to me chopping that part up and putting that on my platform and seeing
Nice.
what barbers say about that, because I know that's
Yep.
the thing.
Yep, exactly. Because like somebody just said, as long as that booth rent paid, exactly. As long as that booth rent paid, I mean, hey, you can do what
That's
you
my
want to
boy
do.
right there between the lines. I went to school with him.
Yeah,
Thank
brother.
you for
Hey,
joining the
hey,
platform.
straight up, bro. Like as long as they booth rent is paid, I mean, I can't really, you know, I can't really do nothing. But then you think about the commission barber, they still can come and go as they please. So if that commission barber only comes to work on Friday and Saturday and makes $400 because you can't tell them when to come, and you getting your whatever that percentage is, you know, you almost kind of shortchanging yourself. Or you got to have these barbers that are willing to be in those commission um, based spots. I probably would not already have in my clientele, right? Let's say I didn't own the barbershop. If I didn't own the barbershop and I went back to booth renting, I would either go booth rent or I would go with a suite because I have clientele already. Um, I probably would not go commission based unless I was moving cities, unless I was going somewhere that I had no clue of who these people were, you know what I mean, in this area. I would probably say, all right, let me see what the commission based shop has to offer for me, you know. Some barbers do that because they're trying to build a clientele, and the 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 barbershop owner is like, hey, you want to rent this booth? It's $100 or $200 a week starting today. You know what I'm saying? And it's Monday. On Saturday, booth rent is due, right? So they're like, well, how am I gonna get this $200? That's not ideal for them. We don't start like that. We start on a commission base, right? Because how can I tell you got to pay me $200 a week and you fresh out of school? You see what I'm saying? There's no way that you're going to be able to do that, even in a super busy barbershop. Probably you're going to have to build up. So we start that, but we don't keep it on booth rent. You have about a month to get on booth rent, and then we go on a tier level of. You have a month to be on commission, then you're on a tier level to the booth rent until we get you there to $200, right? I'm here to help you build. I'm not here to help to tear you down or be greedy. Anything like that. You know what I mean? You know, I'm here to help the barbers build because I was given that opportunity. You know, I was given that opportunity when I was a young barber to build this career. And that's why I'm here now, that I'm still surviving because I was given an opportunity, man. You know, so I feel like I got to give that. That's what I owe. I owe that back to our culture, back to our profession, that I have to give somebody else the opportunity, you know, or what am I doing? You know, how am I making how am I leaving the barber game better than it was when I came in here, when I started this. I was a barber before it was cool. You know what I mean? Like, you think back, bro, this was, you know, man, I couldn't tell you how many
You a
times.
barber back then? Like, what? A barber?
A barber?
You want to
This guy's
be better
broke.
off working at the post office.
You better off being a trash man. You know what I'm saying? barbering wasn't cool. People had the wrong understanding of what barbering really was. They didn't think we were making no money. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it became cool around 2012, between 2012 and 2015. It seemed like there was a shift of now barbering is the cool profession to do, and really I just think it's thanks to the social media influencers. They made this job uh, more exciting to somebody coming into this career. So
You want to read that comment
what
and maybe
what do we have here?
uh, I'm gonna have to log my guy back in here. I think he hit the button, but hold on one second.
My bad, my bad.
No
Where
problem.
was it at? I lost it.
Uh, uh, there you go. Let me see if I can read it. It said, if a barber's commission, they need to be there like a real job. You until they get their clientele up, then they can do what they want to do. But when our commission, they need to be there. I
Yep.
guess he said that you got to treat the commission at the barbershop like a real job. You just need to be
You
there
got to
all.
be there.
Yeah.
I 100% agree, but I would say that, and like I said, I don't know how it is everywhere, but in Colorado, the barbershop owner can't force them to be there. You see what I mean? So it's like, well, yes, you should be there. In my opinion, you should be at the barbershop no matter if you're on commission, no matter if you're on booth rent. Man, you got to be at
Right.
that barbershop. You have to be there. How you gonna build clients if you ain't at the
Yeah.
barbershop? You got to be there. But in our state, you can't force them to be there. When I opened our new barbershop, I thought about going commission. I reached out to some of the commission owners that I know that are small independent owners that they operate off booth rent. I'm sorry, off of commission. And when I found that out, like, man, you almost got to put a lot of faith and a lot of like trust in somebody almost to say, hey, we're gonna go off a commission, because here you can't force them to be there. You can't force them to work there. And I guess it's like, well, we're gonna let that barber go then. And that's why I said it has to be the right person that's like, okay, I'm gonna come here and build my clientele. They got to be in the right mindset. Almost the same way that to be an entrepreneur, no matter what field that we're in, you got to be in the right mindset. You got to be ready for them sleepless nights. You got to be ready for them early mornings. You got to be ready for them peaks and valleys in the game of whatever you're doing. And it's the same way. They have to be prepared for that, and they have to know that, hey, you got to be at. I as a barber commissioning, I got to be here. I got to be there because they can't force you. And I think that's what swayed me away from it, because I felt like I'd rather go, hey, you only want to work Friday and Saturday and you only want to make $500 a week or whatever. Cool, but just make sure you pay your booth rent. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to having to deal with, I think this is a little more hassle, you know what I'm saying, for commission.
Okay. I'm just gonna throw this out there. I'm not saying that this is something that you might have experienced, but I know it's very something that's been going around a lot, especially in our industry now, as far as the transition from barbershops to suites. So I'm seeing a lot of our barbers feeling like they're not gaining anything, they're not experiencing anything. It's like all I'm feeling like when I'm at the barbershop, I'm just dealing with a lot of chaos. So
Yeah.
it's, it's better for me just to have a suite. So, what is your opinion on the growth of suite life instead of working at a barbershop? Because I know when I was a kid, I loved the barbershop. I loved the
Yeah.
experience that I when walking to a barbershop and hearing the guys speak, and it was women there. It's not just only guys.
Right.
Growing up, I had a woman barber, and she was
Okay.
so. And I think the first barber shop I went to, it was two women and four guys, I think, at the shop. And then, certain other shops I went to were just predominantly more men. But I did get a chance to experience like what it would be like if it was women working at a barbershop or just predominantly all men working at a barbershop. But Like I said, now I see that people are just like I can't deal with the barber shop anymore. I rather just be in a suite.
Yeah.
What?
Um, I would say I'm not against the suites at all. I think it works for some people and it doesn't work for other
Yeah,
people. One thing you got to understand that you're gonna lose. You for sure are gonna lose that barbershop culture and the connection of it. Think about when you in here and it's crowded, and all of us might be working, and that's it's four barbers in here working and four people sitting in a chair, and that's four voices. The barber shop can get kind of loud. It can get kind of we might all be talking about the same thing. We might be talking about different things. I think when you remove yourself out of that though, you miss that connection. You miss that
yeah,
camaraderie, you know what I mean, with other barbers. Let's just be honest, it's hard, and I'll speak as the owner. It's hard to get. We got 8 chairs. We got four of them filled.
yeah.
It's hard to get certain people that will fit with everybody's personality, right? Um, as we're looking to move more barbers in, I have to take that into accountability. That are you going to disrupt another barber because of your personality? You know what I'm saying? So I do see that happening a lot, and that sometimes is the reason why people go to a booth. My brother-in-law, that's a barber. He worked at our shop for a while. He said, "Man, you know what? I like to be alone." He went to a booth 5 years ago, and bro been killing it. Bro, he doing just fine. He had key understanding though. Number one, he already has started to build up his clientele. Number two, he took everything that I told him and he applied that. He applied the things that I was doing into the barbershop and he used that into his suite, right? So he started marketing. He knew he had to do the X, Y, and Z to make this successful. I think it could be very successful. I just think that before you jump into a suite, you probably should work at a barber shop, regardless of if it's commission or regardless if it's booth rent. You probably should work there so you can understand the culture of the barber shop, so you can understand how things operate. You know what I'm saying? Um, for instance, we have a SOP, standard operating procedures, right? I have to have that for my barber so they can know this is how you come in and turn the TVs on. This is how you get everything going and get the barber shop. You get beards and fades up and running. This is how we up and get things up and running. If I didn't do that, it wouldn't happen. You know what I mean? I have to give them this information, and those are the things that you miss out on if you go from school straight to a suite. On top of, if you don't already have clientele, where where is the suite located? I don't know many people that we got a barber pole outside. I'm big on barber poles. We got barber poles everywhere. That solidifies us, right?
Yeah.
If you turn it on, you know what's happening over here. We ain't selling cars. You see that barber sign, they cutting some
Yeah.
hair, right? If you don't have that on the outside of a building, here in Colorado Springs, we have like Phoenix salons and Solar salons, I think what they're called. Well, that Solar salon don't say that there's a barber inside there. So you got to be diligent and advertise. You can't just turn the light on. You know what I mean? Um, we can just turn the light on sometimes. I got barbers that advertise and barbers that don't, and they all getting it in. They all eating, right? Because that light is on. Because people be like, "Oh, that's a barbershop. Let me slide in there and see if I get my
Yeah.
haircut." It changes the game when you're in a suite. You don't get that luxury, if you will. You don't have that luxury unless they have some type of signage. So I would say if you're thinking about going into a suite, just make sure your clientele is there. Make sure you have your clientele built up, because if you have your clientele built up, and we're not talking about customers, I'm talking about clients that's rolling with
You're
you.
right.
It don't matter if you cutting hair out of your garage,
Yeah.
they coming to get their hair cut. It's a perfect idea, you know. Now I tell you this, I'm a talker. I like to be around people. I like to talk. Man, when I first opened my first barber shop, I was there by myself. It was just me. It was a smaller shop. It was a 5-man shop, 5 station shop, and it was lonely. I'll be honest with you. Sometimes, think about the downtime that you have. Yes, downtime is used. All right, we could be doing some marketing, right? But boy, you don't got that talking back and forth. You don't have that camaraderie, that brother and sisterhood. We don't have that if you're in a suite. But I do feel like it works for some people and it doesn't work for other people. It depends on how much that you got to grind and what your personality type is.
No,
Plus, you got to think too about clients, man. Not to cut you off, I
no,
apologize, but think about the clients too, bro. Think of you just said like, man, I used to like going to the barber shop. So I couldn't tell you how many, especially at my very first barber shop, not the one I opened, but the shop I worked in. Man, a lot of them dudes was coming in to talk. They wasn't coming in there to
I
they
get
didn't care that this was his barber. This is just the guy cutting your hair. I
it.
came to talk to this guy though about
Yeah,
whatever. You know what I'm saying? I came to holler at him, but he cut my hair. But I'm gonna talk to you while he cut my hair, and we all gonna chop it up.
yeah,
Sometimes clients are looking for that, but then you have the client that don't want that as
yeah,
well. They don't want to be in this loud barber shop when a whole bunch of stuff going on. They're trying to be one on one and personal with you. So it can work if you make it work. It can work if
yeah.
you make it work.
Honestly, I agree on that. I know from my situation, I got a chance to work at a barbershop that I grew up in. Over time, the environment changed, maybe due to COVID, but also the crew of barbers that used to be there weren't there anymore. So when I got a chance to come on board, it was just me and the owner, and then majority of the time I was just by myself when the owner would come in on the days he felt like he wanted to come in. So yeah, it was kind of lonely just to be sitting in there by myself, waiting for customers to come in, my clientele to come in, and the interaction, especially what I grew up in, what I saw, like people just come
Yep.
in with a paper, sit down, and generally have conversations all day. You'd be like, "Are you gonna get a haircut, or
Right.
you just here?"
Yes,
So I
sir.
remember those experience, those environments and stuff like that. So, I relocated to a new shop, and it's like myself and other, but the age is different. You got an older class, you got middle class, and then you got the younger class. But just to hear the environment of different conversations going, and the customers coming in, it does bring you back to like, oh yeah, I enjoy being around my peers. I enjoy seeing what customers are experiencing, what they're having, and also like in general, like you never know who you got in your chair. So at that time, you might have a lawyer, you might have a doctor, you might have someone that's in real estate. So the
Mhm.
conversations that's being had and being heard, you don't know where that can sink in and may take you. So, like I said, I don't see nothing wrong with the suites. I get it. Like
Yep.
sometimes you do need to do your own thing and be your own person, and have your own environment. But like you said, I do advise any barber that's trying to get in this game first, and that and never have been like at a barbershop and is looking for a barbershop, I advise, or thinking about the suite, I advise them to do the barbershop first and maybe search around. Don't like just
Hmm.
pick the first barbershop that's close to you. Maybe go in there, sit around, get the feel of it, the environment, see if you can connect with one of the barbers in there that's going to really show you and take you under their wing, and then maybe make that decision. But I think barbers that just coming out of school right away, or somebody, just going to the school and be like, hey, I got a barbershop, you should come work with me. Maybe
Right.
that shop first, go in there, check it out a couple of weeks at a time, see what the ratio of people that's walking in, what type of people
Yep.
that's walking, and then go and make your decision after that. But
Yep.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Um I know these are a couple things that I feel like we don't talk about because we always doing it all day. And that's sharing our energy and sharing our time with our people, as far as the people that's at the barbershop, like you said, the people that you work with, or the people that's sitting in your chair, and all the mental and all the energy that's being shared between that time span. And also always being at work. For barbers, you always standing up, you always doing your thing, you always got to be
Yep.
sure that everything is on time, especially yourself being a barber and an owner. I mean, I know it's a lot on your back, and it's a lot of pressure that you're dealing with. That you like, okay, how am I gonna come out of this one? How do you deal with the mental part of this industry that allows you to keep pushing forward?
Man, honestly, I was just telling my wife this, man. You know, I said, man, I need to take a day off. Not, because after we opened up, we're open 7 days a week. Okay, we open 7 days a week, and I kind of my schedule is open and available 7 days a week. All right, and I was just telling my wife, like, man, I need to take a day off. But see, I'm trying to get somewhere, right? So that's why, my schedule might be open 7 days a week, but I might not be cutting hair 7 days a week. I mean, all day on
Yeah.
those 7 days, right? So I don't necessarily right now, and it's changed throughout my career, but right now with trying to build my new shop, I don't want to take too much time off or a set day off, and say, all right, I ain't working on Sundays. I ain't working on Mondays. I would rather look at my schedule down the barrel and see, all right, it looks like I don't have anything booked this day, but every other day I'm booked. Take some time off, you know. Even if you are a barber and you're not the owner, take some time off. That's what we have to do. We have to step away from this chair, man. We got to put them clippers down, or you will burn yourself out with
Yeah.
this. You will get to the point of, man, I'm tired. You're mentally exhausted. We're already physically exhausted because we standing up cutting hair all day. It don't matter what shoes you wear. It don't matter what you got on, or standing up and doing a couple movements around this chair is tiring. Especially when you did 12 to 20 haircuts a day. Some people do 10, some people do 20s. Man, I've seen cats busting out 30 haircuts in a day. It's tiring. You have to step away from it. You got to take that time off, even if it's a day. Take that time off. Take a vacation. That's a very big thing. Is, man, take a vacation. Find time for yourself. Find something that you enjoy to do. Find a hobby. When the weather get back clear, I'm about to go back and hit the golf course. I just told myself that. I said, all right, I done been working hard. When springtime rolled back around and it get a little warmer outside and a little drier on a regular basis, I'm going back to the golf course. I'm gonna find me a day that I'm going to go hit them, and that's my time. You know what I'm saying? And I think you have to have that time, or you will burn yourself out. And I think the easiest way to find this time is go on vacation, man. You ain't go on a home base. Stay at home today. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to go spend no money. Just stay at home. You know what I mean? Say, you know what? Let me stay at home. Let me rejuvenate myself. We have to have self care in this business, man. Or you will burn yourself out. Or you will feel like, man, what am I doing? I'm doing all this work, and what's the point making all the money if you don't get to enjoy the money? If you don't get to enjoy your family, if you don't get to enjoy, what you're doing, it'll make you feel like, man, I'm tired of this. So my best advice is, man, take some time off. Take some time off. Take you some time off, man.
I got two more questions for you because I know you got to get back to
Hey,
your
I'm
day.
good.
I was it's funny. I was just having a conversation with one of my last guests, and we was talking about presentation, and as far as like how you um, present yourself in our industry. So I know I see something with Cole where he was like, "You shouldn't come to the shop looking like you're going to the gym." All right, all right. That's one of my questions. How do you feel on that one? And my next question is, when someone is presenting themselves to you and they say, "Hey, I'm a barber. I'm looking to maybe be a part of your location, your establishment." What is the key three things that you look for when that person presents themselves to you, and how do you make your decision of like, would this person fit in my barbershop?
um, I'm gonna answer that one first. When I'm looking at somebody, I'll be honest with you. I'm looking at how well you could do the job, right? Number one, I'm like, are you licensed? Let's go there. Let me go there. Or do you have a license, right? And number two, I'm like, well, I can teach you how to cut hair better. You see what I'm saying? You might not be the sharpest barber, but that wouldn't discredit you because I feel like I can walk you down the path of doing a dope fade. That's a learned behavior. You might be just a little bit off, and you like, no difference than, uh, you know, tapping in a hairline, think about this, right? Think about you tapping in a bald line, right? And some barbers will be like, don't do that because you can't take the bald line out. Well, you just got to turn the clipper over, and you might not know that, and that's why they're struggling with. Because that was a problem that I seen with my students, right? My students would, when I was at the school, they want to do that because that's what they see the Instagram barbers do. And I would tell them, don't do that unless you know how to take the line out. Well, they see them put it in there with the edger, but they didn't see them take it out with the edger. You see what I'm saying? So they was ignorant to the fact of how to do it. That's something I could teach you. So I want to see how much knowledge you have. You know, I want to see, are you teachable? Can I teach you something, or do you already think that you know it all? You see what I mean? Again, I'm gonna say what I done said a couple times. I'm a forever student of this, right? I learn things from new barbers. I learn things from old barbers. If you're not willing to still learn things, then in my opinion, you staying stagnant. So you got to be what they would call an athlete is coachable. You have to be coachable. You have to be able to still be willing to learn something, you know, unless you are the coldest barber that I ever seen. But if you a new barber, you got to still be able to learn something, you know. Even if you're an older barber, you got to be able to still learn something. You might be against social media, right? You might be like, oh, I ain't, you know, we got that problem big with barbers, is that barbers be like, I don't need no social media. I'm really that guy in real life. Me too, but but let me tell you this: I wish I had hopped on social media a little sooner. You know what I'm saying? I wish I had already started this journey of the social media. You know, because a lot of the guys that are already ahead of us. You know, we might see these influencers, and in 2020, 2024, they're super big on social media. But I was probably following on that influencer in 2014, 2015. You see what I'm saying? And saw them with no followers, and now they've just progressed. So I would say you still got to be coachable. As far as appearance, man, I'll be totally honest. I'm kind of an equal opportunist, you know. I think that gives everybody their identity. You see what I'm saying? I wouldn't judge a book by its cover. I'm sure some people see me, and I make jokes with my wife about this all the time. People see me and be like, "What the fuck is he doing with his hair?" Right? And I'd be like, but I got a collar shirt on, so I'm in the game today. Somebody might see me and be like, oh, he must be doing something. But if I had a t-shirt on and some sweats, people would be like, this guy's a bum. You see what I'm saying? He's unkept. You know what I mean? So I try really hard not to do that. I try really hard not to judge a book by its cover. But mainly, man, I'm gonna be looking for how coachable are you? How much knowledge do you already know? And the third thing I would probably say is, what's your personality like, man? I got to know if, you know, are you cool? Can you get along with other people? Can, you know, we have different type of people that work with us, man, you know, different ethnicities, you know, different genders. We have a female barber. Are you, for lack of a better word, a sexist person? You know what I'm saying? Do you feel like female barbers shouldn't be barbers? Then you might not be right to work with us. You know what I mean? You know, and unfortunately, it's starting to fade away. But you know, that was big when women was cutting hair. You know, I know when I first started cutting hair, a girl cutting hair, oh my, that was unheard of. You know what I'm saying? You might have had them sprinkled out here and there, but if you seen a female in the barbershop, you would automatically assume that she was a hairstylist. You wouldn't assume she was a barber. No difference than, you know, now we have a ton of men that do hair because they can tolerate the long process of styling and doing a female cut. So we do see more heterosexual men in salons that are doing hair. Back in the day, you probably would have been like, oh, bro, do hair, bro, gay. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so, no offense to anybody, but that is what the public would have thought. You know what I mean? So it got to be somebody that's also able to get along with other people. Again, I'm an equal opportunist. If you a barber and you cut hair good, I don't care what gender you are. I don't care about none of that. I care about, can you get along with everybody else? Are you gonna make our team stronger? You see what I'm saying? Can you make sure that you okay with customer service? You know, one of our rules is when somebody walk in that door, somebody better be greeting. I don't care where you sit at. Somebody better be greeting them. You know, I pride my business on that. If you go look at our reviews, That's something they gonna tell you. They clean. Barbers is all friendly. Everybody's knowledgeable of the skill. Um, those certain things, you got to be able to get along with everybody. You got to be a personable person. You got to have some customer service skills. You got to be coachable. You know what I mean? As far as my man Cole, I see my man Cole. I rock with Cole, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I rock with Cole. And I know some people probably don't because he probably rubs them the wrong way. But I'm gonna tell you straight up, man, bro, talking the truth. I used to be fat. You know what I'm saying? I used to be a fat guy. You know what I mean? And I will tell you honestly, after I got in shape, I feel much better behind the chair. You know what this man's saying ain't a lie. I'm not saying that heavy set barbers are not successful. I'm not going to say that, but I will tell you on my journey with health, it makes me a better barber because I work out 6 days a week. My rotation goes 6 days on, 1 day off. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I miss it. Sometimes I don't. I try really hard not to. I ain't gonna lie and say I don't eat no bad food. I like cookies. I like cake. I like pasta. I like all the things. You know what I'm saying? But I try to eat healthy. When I'm on that path, I could tell, man, I have more energy throughout the day. Yeah. This is a job that we have to be able to move around in. I work out, so I feel like, man, I ain't really super tired behind the chair. You know what I mean? As I've gotten older, I start developing a little carpal tunnel. I bet you if I hadn't been working out though, if I don't work out, I bet you that would be the carpal tunnel I deal with would be a lot worse. Right. Taking care of our body is key, man. We got to take care of our bodies. Going to the chiropractor. One thing that I've seen many a times, and I've been guilty of it when I was a younger barber. I'm sure y'all have seen me a couple times. I done pull my hydro flask up and then sip some water. Why are we not drinking water behind the chair? Yeah. Why are you not hydrating yourself? I had a personal trainer back in the day, and he would always tell me after any set I did, he'd be like, get some water. In order to finish, you got to be hydrated. You know what I'm saying? Why are we not hydrated? We barbers, so it's certain things that we have to make sure that we're doing, like working out, like eating good, like keeping our body healthy. No matter what size you are, you got to keep your body healthy in order to have longevity in this field, because we might not be construction workers working our body, but standing here is also a strain on our bodies. As far as bro be clowning about the clothes though, I mean, I understand what he's saying because I like to be fresh. Yeah. When I first opened my barbershops, I wore suits every single day to work. That was my thing. I had a suit on. I'm in here cutting hair in a suit and some Stacy's. You know what I'm saying? And slowly I changed out of that, not because I don't wear suits or things like that, but because I had this mentality like, oh, I'm always wear suits because, like bro said, that's how the barbers used to dress. And I'm not talking about 80s barbers, or 90s barbers. I'm talking about back in the day barbers. If you go back to, I got a picture hanging on my wall over here of an old barbershop. I don't know where it is, but you can tell it's black and white. Got some old chairs in there, and you could tell the barbers in their suit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That was the image of a barber, that they were suited up. I don't discriminate on anybody that does. If you feel like you want to work in a tracksuit, in a Nike sweatsuit, then work in a Nike sweatsuit. I don't think that at any point it's going to change who sits in your chair. And that's just my personal opinion, because I've done all of them. I've cut hair in a suit. I cut hair in hard bottoms sometimes. I cut hair in sneakers sometimes. I got a pair of sneakers that I'm a big sneakerhead. I got a pair of sneakers that I only cut hair in because I don't cut hair in my heat when I wear it. You know what I'm saying? I got these New Balances over here that's comfortable and all black that I'm going to change into those when it's time to get busy. You know what I'm saying? If I ain't got no hard bottoms on. But I wouldn't say to another barber, I would say this. I would say, yeah, somebody might judge you if you looking like you just came from the gym. Somebody might judge you. Somebody might not want to sit in your chair because you look like you came from the gym, but I would almost say, the person that might be in that realm, and I'm talking about a client, they might be the person I only wear sweatsuits, or this is how I dress. I'm a leisure dresser. You know what I mean? They might feel like they don't want me to cut their hair because I'm too dressed. You see what I'm saying? They might be like, oh, I ain't messing with homie in the suit. He too damn serious over there. You know what I'm saying? They might feel that way. You know, so I think it's a barber for everybody.
Yeah.
You know, it really is. I think that us being able to express ourselves in different ways is a benefit to us. You know, all of us look different. You know, none of us are the same. We don't really dress the same. We all kind of in different ages. You know, like I said, we got a different a female barber as well. Um, all of us look a little bit different. And I think that's okay. I also think it's okay if you was like, well, you got to wear a uniform. You can only wear X, Y, and Z to work. You know, I don't think that's going to hurt your business either. You know what I mean? Because there's a client for everybody. You know what I mean? That ain't going to hurt your business. You know, if the owner say, hey man, we ain't wearing no sneakers up in here. You know what I'm saying? That ain't going to hurt your business. You know, the school that I worked at, um, they had a dress code, a strict dress code. And I remember my students used to complain about it, complain about it,
All
complain
black
about it. And
box.
all black,
Yeah.
all black, you know, it's all black. But then I went to another
Yeah.
school, right? And I went to another school to drop off flyers for my barbershop. And when I walked in the school, I got an eyesore because nobody was dressed alike. Students, none of that. I didn't know who nobody was. I'm looking around like, hey, where the instructor at? Who in charge up in here? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I realized like, oh, see, them uniforms. I remember going back telling my students like, y'all stop complaining about these uniforms because it does make you look professional. It does give a certain look when you walk into this school, you know. And I think it's the same with barbers. Personally, like I said, I like to be fresh, bro. So I'm not coming to work looking like with no gym clothes on. That's just not what I'm doing. Even if I got a sweatsuit on, if I got a sweatsuit on, you gonna know this is intentional. And he wasn't really trying to go sweat in that sweatsuit. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
in the fresh sweatsuit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but like I said, I don't take nothing against from. I don't hold nothing against from the other barbers that feel like, man, I only want to wear sweats. You know, just know that you're gonna have to build your business on that. Just know that you're gonna have to. You might have somebody pass on you because they might think that you're not professional enough. They might look at you like, nah, you don't really, that's not who I want to cut my hair. And you could be the dopest barber ever, you know, but that person might be in the mindset of, well, I want somebody that look like me to cut their hair. It's no difference than, we got my man, we got a white dude that cut hair with us. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't tell you how many brothers come in the shop and be like, wait a minute, can you